Okay, Damian Woody on ESPN this afternoon. Cowboys should have a top 5 offense. That's his prediction. It is hot take season. We're into July radio now, halfway through July.
July radio.
Where are you guys? I have hope. I wouldn't predict that. Great coaches. I think a good quarterback, great wide receivers, good tight end. I think it's just the same as last year when you look at the offensive line and the quarterback, and I don't know if just adding Pickens changes that much.
I'm just hopeful of a winning season, to be honest with you. I'm not, and I know Cowboy fans don't want to hear that, and I'm not trying to undersell anything or anything like that. I think they're a difficult schedule. I think they have a lot of questions on defense. And I think I have questions about what's going to happen on offense scheme-wise.
Now, what do you think? What do you think about the idea of just top 5 offense? Is that possible?
Boy, I tell you, and that is a hot take because Damian Woody does not know what Brian Schottenheimer and this staff is going to do scheme-wise.
No,
I don't think any of us do.
Not
I think they do. I think they do at the Star. I think they have an idea of going in as they've. We get ready next week, the game plans, or not game plans, but playbooks put together, like install sheets, install practices, things like that have all kind of been set up. But I don't think with any great certainty, anybody in the media can tell us what Brian Schottenheimer and this offense is going to do. And until I get an idea of that, but we've been in situations before. Oh, look. Movement. Oh, look, bunch formations. Oh, look, different types of pin and pull, run packages. Oh, look, some outside zone stuff. Oh, look, crack talk. All these things that, you would kind of think about. You're like, okay, I just need to see, and I'm quoting my guy, Botch Lombardi, who I work with, at Nightly on these podcasts and stuff. He's always saying, hey, don't let this be a run up the field and hook offense.
Yeah.
Don't show me that. Don't show me the run up field and hook offense. Because that's not going to do anything for me. And I don't think you could be a top 5 offense playing that way.
No, you can't go back to what you did. And if they brought in Clayton Adams and Brian Schottenheimer went out and found him and somehow in the process of installing what he did in Arizona, he was their offensive identity. They had the head coach, they had the offensive coordinator, but the offensive coordinator was like a passing game coordinator. And Gannon's walk-around guy, was it Drew Petzing?
Yeah.
He didn't have anything to do with the offensive line or the run game, and that was Clayton Adams. Please teach us we can be good.
That's what I want. That's what and I'll be out there a few days before you guys, but I want to be able to walk over to the offensive line practice and this is nothing against Conor Riley, nothing at all against what he did at Kansas State. I'm not, but you were a college coach at one time. You're now learning how to be an NFL coach. I get that. I'm happy for you. But if in fact Clayton Adams is not running this offensive line at least the first year, I'm not going to feel great. I am not going to feel great about I need at least this first year. I need this as they're building this offense, as they're building this scheme, as they're putting this together. I don't need Clayton Adams to be a walk-around guy. I need Clayton Adams to be hands-on. If Riley's coaching the tackles and he's coaching the inside and they're coming together and they're working together and Clayton Adams is running the drills and and yelling at the guys, oh, that's it, good job, and doing all this stuff, I will feel so much better about this scheme.
Yeah.
But if it's a first-time NFL line coach coaching it up, I'm going to say, all right, they're missing an opportunity here, and I don't feel as confident as I do.
No, you need his expertise because he took personnel-wise bottom half of the league talent in Arizona, had a good center,
right?
I think 3 undrafted guys, and boom, we have the second best run game in the NFL.
Sure.
If you don't see that and say, wow, what could he do with this offensive line? See what Damian Woody said and what Brian Broaddus said, we don't know what they're going to do, who's going to be doing it, but there's the possibility that Adams changes how we look at these players.
See, the thing that gives you hope is a healthier Dak, an addition of George Pickens. That gives me confidence. And then the fact that you drafted a right guard that is a bad MFer playing in there.
Sure.
Those are the things that give me hope for the offense. But I don't know. Like I said, with drafting that right guard, I don't know how athletic this line is going to be when it comes to playing in space.
Yeah, because
this could be a gap scheme run attack.
How much of Clayton Adams' success was based on having offensive linemen that were proficient in all the styles?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we interviewed him before
Day three,
and we were talking about, we were being cute and talking about pin and pull and all that. He goes, hey, if we're not good enough at pin and pull, we ain't doing pin and pull.
Yeah, they're going to do what the offensive linemen are best at, and I think a power type scheme is really what I think these guys are going to excel at. That middle trio that you've got there, that is a powerful group that just wants to lean on D linemen. And I think here's the thing with Mike McCarthy, right, as an offensive coach. He talked about wanting to run the football. Mike McCarthy was never that guy. He always dialed up a ton of pass plays, and what did we end up seeing here in Dallas? We didn't there was no creativity to the running game whatsoever. None. So I'm hopeful, without knowing anything that Broughton Schottenheimer is going to do, at least his background is he is a run-first coordinator, and you're bringing in a guy in Clayton Adams that will use a variety of ways to beat you with the run game. And can you get some creativity with the way you're scheming your attack rushing the football? If they're able to add that and the fallback is let's run the damn ball, and that's ultimately what Brian Schottenheimer is, I think I'll be okay with that, because I think that's going to take some pressure off of Dak. You can get the play action going and be able to utilize your talent out wide with CD, Pickens, and Ferguson.
See, running the ball is really, really good until you don't score points running the ball. Until all of a sudden now you're, and people say, well, if you're running the ball, you're keeping their offense off the field and all that, great. You're protecting the defense, great, all those things. But if you just sit there and run the ball and have drives where all of a sudden it turns into Aubrey field goals all day, that's not going to do you any good.
Well,
I mean, running the ball is cool until you don't score running the ball, until you don't find a way to get it in the end zone. Because you can run the ball and kick field goals all day and still get beat.
You have to get the explosives. If you're trying to go 5 or 6 yards at a time,
it's hard to get explosives if you're running the ball unless you've got backs. Like potentially, if Blue could be that guy. I'm one of these guys that is going to watch Blue, and if Blue can pick up and can blitz pick up and show that he has some ability to pass protect, he's my starter. Because I'm looking for explosive plays. I'm not interested in. And I'm not interested in handing the ball to somebody for 3.8 yards a carry. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in, we saw what Zeke was able to do in 2016. Those were some explosive running plays right there.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that with Sanders or with Williams or maybe even Moffitt too. I mean, I don't think.
Well, James Conner runs like 4.65. Yeah, and he led the league in yards before contact with an average offensive line because of what the scheme did for him.
Right. No, and that's the key. They also had a quarterback that's very elusive too. That helps.
Yes.
That kind of balances some things out, because I don't think your quarterback. I'm not going to say he's not going to run, but I don't think they're really interested in running him that much.
Well, I do think, as much as we talked about the offensive line and the running game here, Dak's the most important thing if you want to be a top 5 offense. You're not going to be top 5 offense if he played like he did last year. And by the way, he played like that in 2022 as well.
And it's both years they started off as garbage the first several games. That's my hope. I mean, I don't think you could, with this way the schedule is, I don't think you could throw away 2 or 3 games early in the season trying to figure out what's going on with this offense.
Yeah, you got to come out pretty high. You need to be 4-2 after the first 6 games or so, because then it starts to get real tough.
See, the last thing that we need to talk about here is that, to me, this first game is so important, because just for Brian Schottenheimer's sake, you can't go get beat 44-7. You can't. I mean, if you want, they might lose this football game, but you cannot go out there and get beat 44-7 and create so much doubt within your team and the fan base and all that.
Be the end of the vibes.
Yeah, you've got all that. Hey, we're playing ping pong, and hey, we're having fun, and hey, all that. That is going to get thrown right back in his face. So you better make sure that whatever you have to do to make sure that the offense comes out on point right off the jump, that needs to be done. That needs to be the complete focus going, because you can't afford week 6 all of a sudden we're talking about, wow, they changed the offense, because they weren't doing anything with the offense. If Brian Schottenheimer wants any credibility with this football team, he's got to figure out ways to make this thing work right off the jump.